Welcome back to Toledo's most fun, local, and positive 9 a.m. show, Good Day. America has a big birthday this year, which has us looking at our local history. 250 Toledoans remembered highlights the legacies of unassuming residents and famous figures. The author Robin Hage is with us this morning. Robin, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thanks for sharing with us. So tell us a little bit about your book and where the inspiration came from.
So obviously this is a historic event this summer with the United States celebrating 250 years. We've never seen this in our lifetime and never will again. And I am helping to facilitate a big event in Northwest Ohio called Time Traveler's Passport, which includes 12 local history venues where people can go get a passport and a stamp. But I thought to myself, what do I have in my arsenal that I could contribute to local history for this 250th anniversary? And so I collect people. I collect their stories. I find them very inspirational. So I thought, well, I will take some of the stories that I've written over the past couple decades and put them together in one volume. And so I came up with 250 individuals from Northwest Ohio.
Was it difficult to pick 250?
I tried to get a mix of obviously male, female, veterans, immigrants, local individuals. It was not difficult at all to come up with 250 people. You know, you might recognize a name or two from Toledo history, but most of them were very unassuming individuals. Again, immigrants who came here, tried to make a better life for themselves. They had hardship, just like we do today. Some were very successful, and I found their stories to be very inspirational.
Are you a Toledo native by chance?
I am not from Toledo. I've been here for 30-some years, but I love the Toledo area, but I learned this all secondhand.
Okay, and I was just going to ask, I mean, what does it mean to you as someone who has been here for quite some time to kind of dig into these stories and learn more about the people who came before us? You
know, history definitely repeats itself. I found many stories inspirational because of the personal heartache that these couples experienced with the loss of their children or different things. And so it puts into perspective my gratitude for my personal life and how wonderful things have been. So I'm really appreciative to learn their stories.
Let's go through some of those stories. So we have Ada Ritchie is the first one you're going to tell us about. Tell us about Ada.
Yes, so Ada was a 1873 graduate of the old Toledo High School, which was located where the Toledo Main Library is today.
Oh.
And she spent 50 years as a teacher in Toledo Public Schools. And ironically, she actually started her teaching career 3 months before she graduated from high school.
Oh my gosh.
Teacher training back then was extremely nominal. Now, she did go to schooling for that, but she basically worked for TPS for 50 years, and she taught in the old Toledo High School, which was the only public high school. So it can be said of her that she taught so many of the early prominent Toledo businessmen, women, and that's another thing. TPS treated women as equals at that time, which was kind of rare. So after Scott High School opened in 1913, she went over to teach at Scott High School as well. And so she was just revered by everyone in Toledo at that time period.
Amazing. Let's talk about Jeffrey Maria, is that correct? Maria. Tell us about Jeffrey.
So every year I go to Washington, D.C., and that's a picture of his headstone. That's at Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And I lay wreaths there for Wreaths Across America. And this past December, I received a call from a woman, and she said, "My name is Diane, and you have been covering my husband's headstone for years at Arlington Cemetery. I'd like to fly out and meet you."
Oh.
So she flew out to D.C. and we met. And Jeffrey's story was so compelling. He was the most recent one that I actually compiled to put in the book. He was born in a displaced persons camp after World War II. His mother was Russian and his father was Polish. When the father went back to Poland after the war, they would not allow the Russian mother to come in due to her heritage, and she was unable to care for Jeffrey. So he was actually adopted through the Catholic Charities and brought here to Toledo. Jeffrey is not his given name.
Okay.
That is his adoptive name. He graduated from Bowser High School in 1967. He went off into the Marines to serve in Vietnam. And in 1968, he was permanently disabled due to a grenade that exploded right in front of him. He had numerous surgeries, stayed in the hospital for a long time, came back to Toledo, married, had children. Kind of in a role reversal, Diane went off to work and Jeffrey stayed at home with the kids.
Wow.
He passed away in 2015 and his body was taken to Arlington, and he was buried there. So just an incredible story of someone who's not even born in our country and served on behalf of our nation.
Okay.
So that's Jeffrey's story.
And of course, I mean, brought to Toledo, probably didn't know where he was going to end up, but then he came back to Toledo and decided to make it home.
Yes, he married and had 4 children, and just an incredible sacrifice that he gave for our country.
And then we also have William Wyrick.
Yes, so both Jeffrey and William graduated from Bowsher High School. William graduated the year before in 1966, and his dad was a science teacher and the football coach at Bowsher. William was serving in Vietnam in 1968 with his buddy, Corporal Paul Graves. And they were taking some small arms fire, and Corporal Graves was hit. So William threw himself over his buddy, absorbed the small arms fire, and was killed. So basically, he saved his friend, and he was awarded the Navy Citation, which is the second highest award that you can receive.
Wow.
About 10 years ago, I found a transcript that Mr. Graves, who survived and came back, and he wrote down what transpired while William was laying across him, and he was still alive, that he could talk to him, and he knew that he was going to die. So on this Memorial Day, we remember him.
Yeah. Wow, incredible stories. And that's just a preview of what you can expect from your book. Where can people get your book?
So the book is at Tidkey's Coffee Shop in Maumee off Monclova Road, which, by the way, they have all of the local history books at their coffee shop. They have over 70 different titles, so they're a great resource for local history. People can also get it at upcoming tours that I have at Forest Cemetery.
Perfect.
I have, I think, 4 coming up, so those are available. They can also reach out to me through my Facebook page, and I'd be happy to meet them.
Perfect. And there's the information on the tours on your screen right now. Definitely take a picture. This book sounds so interesting. Thank you for coming here and sharing this
Thank you
with
again
us.
for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Of course. When we come back, they have Little Paw Prints on Your Heart, how one woman is helping others get through the grief of losing a beloved pet. Good Day is back in a moment.